What's up, man?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Drew.
Where's your orange shirt?
I threw it away and burned it after that comment. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm Casey.
What's up, guys? I'm Christian. We're the Men of Cause.
We are back.
Coming back. It feels like it's been forever.
It has been forever.
But really not. It's been like a week.
It's not been forever for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually, so, just to explain, because we didn't really go over that in the last video. I kind of added it on an Instagram comment. But just to get back.
Where can they find that information?
At the Men of Cause on Instagram and Facebook. And you ever make us a Twitter yet?
I'm doing it.
We getting there.
On our eBay account. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Hey, you got a time, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, but yeah, so basically what I was going with that is we now have a schedule. We're actually going to try to have more consistency instead of just random stuff. So it'll be every Tuesdays, every Thursday, and it'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're watching somewhere else, convert it yourself. I'm not great with time zones.
Just add or subtract an hour.
Yeah, you know, like
I'm just kidding.
it's 4 Eastern time, you know.
Yes. So
the
main theme of this episode.
All right, so this episode is support. And it was going to be like support those that matter, but really it's just the idea of support in general.
Because I have controversial thoughts on support.
Right. And
everybody does, but
yeah.
I want to get down and dirty with those later.
Down and dirty. And then there's also good vibes behind it too. I mean, it's definitely a good thing. And there's also a stigma of like not wanting to ask for support, not asking for help. That's every guy's Achilles heel to an extent.
And also, I think the biggest thing a man faces in his life is
asking for directions.
No, that obviously, thank God Apple fixed that for me. No, but anyways, when you have two different support systems and you have to pin those against each other, that's where I want to go. That's my controversial piece because I've had relationships in the past where my significant other totally believes a completely different way than somebody in my family would believe. So as a man, I had to sit there and teeter back and forth thinking, well, my life's going to be shit this way, or I'm going to have to make somebody mad this way. So we'll get into that. That's, how
definitely,
we do.
Yeah, definitely know what you mean there.
The main topics the main theme is usually last, so that's kind of how we've been running the thing here. We'll go into some fun things,
right,
news, catching up. So let's catch up.
Catch up. All right, how was your weekend? Easter weekend? Did you have a good Easter?
I had a great Easter. How did you? How was yours?
That curtain.
Which, this?
Yeah. That part. Yeah, I had a great Easter. Actually, I spent...
Is it fixed?
I hope so.
God,
it looks alright. It looks alright. I can just see the gap. That'd be fun. It's going crazy.
Well, I don't know what this is for.
Anyway, so back on topic here. Easter was good for me. The whole weekend was weird, not spending all that time together like normal.
Right.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what I'm doing, I guess. Don't listen to me.
Thankfully, I can rip the audio, so it's all good.
Well, it's not that. It's...
Has it been that long? Have we really fell apart?
It's been a minute, guys.
Have we really fell apart?
We quit. The show's over.
So I spent my whole weekend supporting family. My brother was racing this weekend, and that's kind of, I guess, what brought the topic along.
Go into that for me.
So this weekend, my brother raced at the Arena Cross in Pikeville, Kentucky.
He races motocross.
Yeah. He's
don't know what
big into dirt bikes.
How'd he do?
He qualified first and second. He had a little bit of difficulty in the actual races in the evening. There's some crashes and stuff, but he's all right. And he did good overall. Not where he could have been.
So to throw this up, your brother had a horrible wreck.
Yeah, he did. That's been
2 years.
About 2 years ago.
Would you like to go into that a little bit?
That was pretty crazy. Yeah, so he was...
This is for all you racing fans out there.
Yeah, for all the motorcycle people, the racing
Gearheads,
people.
period. I mean, people who ride Harleys and stuff.
Right, so my brother was at a...
Also, I'm not trying to cut you off when I speak, just letting the world know that, okay?
Right.
We'll
go back and forth.
I got a big mouth here, okay? I'm sorry.
We'll just start throwing up a finger or something. It's like, all right, I got something.
Throw up a middle finger.
So yeah, back to the crash. So that was crazy. Way back a couple years ago, I don't remember exactly the date.
I literally think it was like 2 years to like coming up to the date.
Because
I remember walking out of work and getting a phone call. Because at the time when it happened, you guys like really didn't know what was going on because they were cutting that shit out of his leg.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. So to get into that, he was at a track pretty close to here. It was in Ohio, and he was just at a practice day, just getting some laps in before another race coming up. He was on a brand new motorcycle, just got it, was super excited about it, was going out there, having a good time. Out of nowhere, he cased a triple and the way you come down on the the
Case the
landing.
triple is when you hit the first one and you go to land on the third one, and then
Right,
you
yeah.
hit right on the top of that with the middle of the bike.
Yeah, so he cased the triple. I think he ended up like missing a shift right before the jump or something like that. I don't remember the exact scenario. But anyway, he cased his triple. I think it was like somewhere in like it wasn't huge either. It was only like 60, 70 feet, which for most people that's probably huge to think that.
People who don't race and stuff, I mean,
I couldn't do it.
I don't go out there and do it all day. My bike's still right, the ones I ride now. Imagine that.
Right.
Rickish.
Back in the day, we would.
Yeah,
not
but
have made
anyways.
that. So when he cased it, he landed the front wheel into the landing ramp. The bike did a front flip over top of him, and when it did, it came up over him. The back tire landed on his. It caught him in the armpit, and then it came down on his leg when they both hit the ground. So it severed the artery in his armpit, like his actual main artery running through his body. And then it came down and broke, I think, one and fractured the other, or maybe both, but it broke both bones in his thigh.
Yeah. Anything with the femur? I thought they had some
Your
femur issues.
femur's in there at the
Well,
top.
I know it is, but it's connected up towards the back. It connects all of that.
Well, yeah, he broke his femur.
Yeah, okay.
So thank God there was an ambulance like at the
On
practice
site.
day. Yeah, that never happens. There's never practice days with an ambulance.
If
at the track.
not, he could have probably bled out.
Oh yeah, like there was a pool like as big as our table of blood on the dirt.
Well, I got pictures because I'm really close to your family outside of this,
Right.
outside of anything, business, work, whatever. I'm really close, and you got for some reason I think your dad called me.
Probably.
Something. He's like, I can't remember how it was, but I think they were close to my work or something. Hey, Dylan's had an accident. It was weird. Me and your dad
Might have been
talked
me,
all
I
the
was
time.
gonna say.
No, I really, for some reason I think it was your dad. I don't know why.
It could have been.
Anyways, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I sent that picture, and the whole inside,
Oh, yeah,
inside
after the
of his
surgery?
lung was black.
Oh, after the
entire-
surgery was gross.
I've never seen a human body turn black. I mean, it was
Well, yeah, so
a white male. I don't mean that racist,
Right, right.
but a white male's body completely turned.
Yeah, from like his elbow to like his hip was like there was so many staples and stitches and stuff. But basically, so after he ripped his femur, or not his femur, he ripped his artery so bad that they had to take some literally some vein out of his thigh,
That's when I got
and
called.
they stitched it back up to his femur to put it back together.
Modern day medicine, dude.
Right, he's got a titanium rod in his leg
Stem
now.
cell research.
He's got a titanium rod like Wolverine.
What do we call this? Baby
I don't remember.
baby potions. But you were there to support him.
Yep.
But anyways, that's besides the point. He raced. He did good.
Yep.
He did fine. He's alive.
I think the craziest part of that whole wreck was he was walking within 4 days with a big metal rod in his leg.
Dude, if that was me,
I'd
this
still
has
be in the hospital.
Nothing to do with my work. I love my work and I love my job, but I'd have took like 6 months off. I'd have been laying, playing Madden or anything. I don't know.
Right. But yeah, I mean,
So that was your Easter weekend.
so I feel like they're going to think that I was at the hospital all weekend.
No, that was prior, but he raced
No.
again healthy.
Right, yeah.
So that was.
He didn't get hurt, so
you
all
see
was
any
well.
family? See any extended family?
I did. After the racing, went up to visit the whole family. Like on my mom's side, everybody comes in. We have Easter dinner. Let the great grandkids do
This
that.
weather's shit.
Dude, it is.
What's happening?
And,
What's going on?
and the worst part is like right now, this week coming up. Tomorrow's going to be 74 degrees. We haven't had 74 degrees in
And I have
forever.
to be in an office.
I don't know.
building
It's worse
for
than that.
10
It's going to rain
hours.
all day.
And I still have to be in an office.
The next day, it's going to be clear skies.
And what, 30?
It's going to be, I think, 38 to 42.
It's supposed to snow tonight. This weather, I've honestly, my years in this, I've never seen weather this sporadic, ever. It'll flood one night, be 100 degrees the next, snow the next. I've never seen anything like
I'm
this.
just ready for warm weather with clear skies.
Can you guys stop littering, please? I think
Yeah, it's
something to do with it. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
it's global warming.
So mine was very uneventful. I literally traveled 100 miles to see family I haven't seen in forever. Not that's not uneventful. I love my family,
Right.
obviously.
But there's nothing come about it.
We just chilled, had dinner. They watched the podcast. They liked it. I didn't
Totally
show
good.
them all of them because they don't have 10 hours.
We'll
to
start at
listen
like
to us talk.
episode 5 is about where we really got into things.
Yeah, guys, go check out the last episode. If this is the first one you're into,
Episode 6, definitely shout out to Cody again. Cody Napper. It was amazing having him on the show.
Instagram at Cody Cheyenne Napper.
I think there's some underscores in there.
Well, just Google that. But yeah,
Yeah,
dude's
he's on
awesome.
there.
Awesome dude. We hope to have him back again. He's supporting us, pushing us. He's a really good guy, and we're also doing that. They've settled up like 3 or 4 days of filming now with that drawing near.
Yeah, I saw the post he had.
And Joe, the director,
Yep.
his Instagram's full of pictures about stuff like that too. So I think that's really cool.
Right.
They're doing really good things. Aside from that, my weekend compared to the weekends that we've been getting into to do stuff for this episode and filming.
These obligations.
These obligations to the job site, man. I'm not taking away from my family, but we're very uneventful from what I'm used to for the last 2 months.
Right. It's just a
Not a spur of the moment driving to Lexington or Pittsburgh or flying to
Florida
Texas
or
or
Phoenix
something.
or-
I mean, just to film a 2-minute skit. Hey, we need to fly to Texas. That's how things have been going.
That's, yeah. And
So you
once-
guys are actually going to be seeing a lot more very, very, very short video skit work coming through these podcasts, because that's what we like to do as
Yeah, yeah.
entertainers. So we'd like to touch
for
on
the
that.
future, what we're going to do is we're going to break things down, and it could be anything that episode. You really just have to watch to find out. But we're going to have we're going to call them commercial breaks, but really it's just going to be some like stuff that we shoot. It could be a funny skit. It could be like when we launch a new shirt or shoes or whatever.
It's
like,
stuff we wanted to record anyways and put out, but we don't think it needs to be a separate video.
yeah, like instead of, because in a podcast usually you expect about an hour of content from us, and there's no point in posting like a 30-minute to 2-minute little video skit, commercial, advertisement, whatever it may be, for something that we're coming out with or doing, or even that we support. So you can expect in the next video, like the next videos to come, maybe not this Thursday's video, because it's
Yeah,
Tuesday right
it's
now.
going to be next week, because we got a lot of, like we said, a lot of things we do in film have to do with the weather. I mean, it's
Right.
true, because
Like,
unless you guys just want to see us in our houses, I mean, that's kind of boring. So
Right, like the boat stuff we have lined up, it's going to be real fun in the
we
rain.
have a really, really, really awesome boat skit set up with a houseboat that I'm taking care of. That's going to be super funny, so stay tuned for that.
All right, but that's definitely something to look forward to. It'll kind of break up the video monotony. If you're watching, instead of just seeing us talk, you'll at least get a little bit of cinematic quality out of it. And it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
We won't discuss what or who or where, but you have a new job offer.
I do.
Congratulations.
That'll be another topic coming up soon, but network.
I'm not going to give away just in case something falls through.
Right, right.
So that's
But
all
yeah,
I'm
actually, I got the call today. Didn't even bring that up, but I did.
Congratulations. dude.
Got the offer and went through the background check and stuff, so now I'm just waiting for paperwork to go through.
Well, I'm very proud of you.
And I know that my family listens and I get a call every day, and I do appreciate that. And I'll probably get a call tomorrow about that. So that's cool.
What, you want to go into some news?
So on to the news. The Men of Cause news.
I don't know why, and I know everybody probably hates this section, but this is my favorite part.
The news?
Just to break down the bullshit you hear.
Well, see,
every
for
single
us,
day.
the reason it's so exciting is that, like, me and you hide it from each other. Instead of normally talking
Yeah.
about it, we're like, I'm going to save that for the podcast. And I feel like it's fun because
So that's the thing. We are best friends. We talk every single day, but at the same time, if I hear something funny or I see something, I will not talk to him about it because I want his genuine reaction.
Right.
Like the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, about the brothel, the sex brothel.
Right.
Because it was just so funny to see your reaction to that.
That was out of nowhere, too.
I have a couple of things, and a lot of my things stem from social media. I like to see, guys, 99% of the shit you see on social media is fake. Please,
Right.
you know that.
Right.
If you don't, we're here to tell you that it is. If you ever want to run that through me, just send me the link, and I can prove you where it's fake.
Right. Or we can
Dude.
look at fact check it for you. I mean, it doesn't
Look at the
matter.
Onion. Come on, dude. It's the funniest thing in the world. I love it.
Right.
And that's not sponsored by any means. I just love that site. It's funny as hell. So there's do you have news topics ready today?
I got a couple.
A couple? Well, mine are pretty freaking deep. If
All right.
you wanna
We'll go
light.
with the first one. My first one's a little lighter.
Okay, because mine are going to require some attention, and I don't want to
Right.
ruin the
You
entire
don't want to start it
mood
with that,
on
then it's just like, oh, and by the way, this happened.
Well, yeah, because how you want to go to that and then be like, well, that happened too.
All right, first one is something you don't see in the news very often, but after a little digging, I did find an article by a guy named Tom Knighton. Never going to hear this in the mainstream media. Illinois man uses AR-15 to save a life.
What? What?
Can those words be used in the same sentence?
Listen, shut the podcast down. We're about to get sworn.
Right? Basically, to just, like, condense it a little bit, is...
You look so unprofessional right now. on your phone. I'm just joking.
right. I should have had this on the laptop.
That's to all the people who say we should have already done the news.
Yeah, how dare you not fact
We're
check
not,
this before?
we're not doing the news for you guys. You're going to get the news. We're just giving you our opinions.
Right, so basically, this guy heard some noise down the hallway from his apartment. He goes over and saw blood. It says a handgun and AR were laying on the bed the room that he walked into. He went in to check, door was open.
All right, so let me lay it out. So dude lives in a different apartment than the crime that's going on. Walks down the hallway, goes into the apartment, sees
Yeah,
blood.
here's
handgun,
here's
handgun.
noises and some
Okay,
thumps and
I'm
stuff.
with you.
Basically, he walked in. It says that, all right, we'll read a little more. So David Thomas was getting ready for work Monday when he heard a woman screaming in his apartment building. All right. So he's actually a gun instructor. He peeked out the door and saw blood in the hallway. He went into the bedroom and there was a handgun and an AR-15 just laying on the bed. So he picked up the rifle. He walked on in and it says, Thomas confronted a man who was stabbing another man in the apartment complex on the 100 block of wherever.
Yeah.
The man with a knife ran when Thomas threatened to shoot him with an AR-15. So he didn't shoot anybody. Nobody died.
When was this updated? Just asking. Just curious.
This was posted on March 29th.
March 29th. What is today? April 2nd?
That'll be 3rd for them, but yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, this is in like the last week, and you're not going to see it on the news. But basically, so you know, he stood his ground.
Did he shoot him in the back?
He didn't shoot anybody.
I thought the dude shot him with an AR-15.
No. He saved a life by just he
Oh,
literally.
okay,
So he walked in. There was guns on the
that's my
bed.
bad. I thought you meant he.
No. So the guy
I
walked
was going to say,
in.
because if you shot him in the back, the guy will go to jail. But
Right.
Even though
Yeah.
he saved a life.
He didn't even shoot. So he walked in, guns on the bed. He picks up the gun and keeps walking. There's blood everywhere. A guy's getting stabbed to death. So he literally just stands there with a gun, you know, ready to defend the guy, and the guy with the knife ran away.
So first of all and foremost, dude needs to move.
Yeah, I'd probably not stay
Don't
there
live in
anymore.
that apartment complex.
I'd probably not stay there anymore. But, you know, congrats to that guy for being a hero and saving a life.
That story will be deleted so
Brushed
fast.
under the rug.
Yeah. AR-15s don't do anything.
That doesn't fit the agenda.
It won't. And I'm not sitting here being a right-wing nut. We're not Alex Jones. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you know as well as I do.
It doesn't fit the curve of the media these days.
That kind of leads into this. And we talk about this kid every fucking podcast, and I'm tired of it. The hog kid,
Oh, yeah.
the one that drove to the school. Well, and every time they call him a Parkland school shooting survivor, like, is he technically a survivor at this point? I mean, if he went there and left.
If you didn't go to school.
So let me ask you a question. There's a car wreck.
Right.
You drive up on the car wreck, you go out and you check on everybody, and then you leave. Well, you survived the car wreck.
I don't feel like it works that way.
Just
I feel like if you skip school that day, like, you know, I'm glad that those kids are safe that didn't go to school that day.
Yeah, I shit on that kid every podcast, and I don't mean it that way.
Right.
He's
But
just a kid.
I feel like he's being portrayed in the media as like a survivor when
he's being mind controlled into saying this. His father or stepfather or somebody works for CNN. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like somebody like really close. I'm just saying,
Right.
like, but it's devil's advocate. Maybe that is why he does have those journalistic
tendencies.
instincts.
Yeah, like that's
Good,
what he's
great for him.
It's cool that he got the
You
coverage.
want to chase your passion? Hey, by all means, you're a man of cause. Go do it. But and the clear book bag thing, and
I didn't hear about that.
I could
Yeah,
talk
we
a
beat it
little.
to death, though.
Yeah,
Like, we
I'm
brought
tired of
this up
talking
so
about it.
many
But they're wearing clear book bags with the price tag that says like $1, and it's like this book bag costs more than my life. I mean, at this point, it's just.
There's so many like.
Ted Nugent, did you see what he said?
Huh?
Oh my God, he's like this is horrible, and I love Uncle Ted. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I don't. But he said something, and this is my respect to the survivors because I don't think this at all. But he said something about the ones that are protesting, the Parkland protesters are like soulless liars or something. Man, I mean, he was going like a little too far. If you got that big of a platform, probably shouldn't.
Right.
I mean, have your agenda, and I don't even know. Maybe fuck it. You got your platform, go. They're using theirs. I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
No,
So
no,
next,
they-
how many news topics do you have? A couple.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both big. All right. Well, mine's medium big.
Well, let's go into this one.
All right.
So there's a post going on Facebook, obviously social media. First of all, I don't get my news from social media. I take news articles from social media, and
I see what's trending,
and I completely destroy those because I don't believe in what they say.
Yeah.
But this one is not a news topic. This is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Are you talking about the video?
No.
Okay.
That's the last thing.
Okay, I was like.
That's way too crazy.
All right. So what's this one?
All right, so this is a picture I'm sure you can find it easily, just log into Facebook, and I'll show you, but don't read the words because I want to actually read them to you. See the dude holding the dog?
Right.
All right, so the top says the last minutes before the dog gets euthanized. Sad topic already.
Right.
The next wall of text says, do you still think it's okay to buy a puppy? What? How is that your argument to adopt a dog? What, I don't get the angle here. Like, am I missing something?
Basically, so to play both sides.
Yeah.
The buying a puppy thing is the people that buy like specialty breed dogs, designer dogs, that kind of stuff.
This is clearly not though.
No, I get that. So they're saying that we'll call it, we'll say like a stray dog or something, like a shelter
That's a
dog.
boxer. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah, but a
Yeah.
shelter dog, something that nobody wanted. It's like instead of going and adopting, you'd rather pay like big money for a designer dog that's
But
popular or
it
something.
doesn't specify that. It says, do you think it's still okay to buy a puppy? I mean, that's from the pound or.
Right. I mean, and
It's
you have to pay to adopt a dog.
But that's what I actually talk about this with my grandpa often because he loves animals all
Right.
the time, but he's not bought one in 50 years. He's not owned an animal.
Right.
I got the timer. So I ask him all the time, and this guy is smarter than you know him. He's done well for himself. He's just a
Yeah.
great guy.
So what's his view?
He will not own a dog because he says it's going to die. He always says that it's going to die, no matter what, no matter how attached I get to it, it's going to die. And I just started having a conversation with him, and this is the same thing to that. So the 20 or 15 or 10-year journey you have with that thing is not worth the end outcome. I mean, like, if that's the case, you're going to cut off love from everybody. Like, why would you get married then?
Right. Yeah.
She's going to die.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, the circle of life. Man or woman, I'm not specifying to anybody, but you fall in love with somebody and you stop yourself from falling in love, well, because they're going to die soon. Well, maybe not soon.
Well,
but
yeah.
they're gonna
Eventually
die
that'll
when
happen.
they
That's the final.
So, I mean, how do you even spur an argument with that? I think that these posts are made just to get people sincerely fired up to talk about it. I mean, it's crazy to me.
And people do that all the time. Like,
So the first of all, they're preying on emotion because the dude's sad as hell. You guys
Right.
can't see this on camera, but we might be able to drop this picture in.
maybe.
But the last minutes before the dog being euthanized, the dude's hugging the hell out of this dog and he's sitting there crying, and it's just such a sweet photo. But then they have the nerve to prey on the dude and say, "Do you still think it's okay to buy?" Like, I don't know. Like, I know you're saying about the.
First off, like it. Well, go ahead.
Well, okay, well, I ain't trying to talk over you. I know about buying these special breed puppies versus actually
Speaking of special breed
Yeah, I have a
puppies.
special breed puppy. I understand buying the special breed puppy on, before going to the shelter and getting the dog. I get that.
Right.
But I don't feel like that's the argument here.
I feel like that's like somebody that like blaming like a random act of violence that could be just like gang violence without even a gun and blaming like guns. Like that's like
Blaming you for adopting a dog and then
right.
it die, having
Yeah,
it die.
like that picture is like saying, "Oh, this puppy's or this this dog is about to be put down," and it's just like,
Yeah,
"Don't
that's
buy
how-
puppies." Like you don't know the story of that. That could be like a dog that like had terminal.
What do you like? That's what I'm saying. What do you mean? Don't buy a puppy? Like never buy a dog?
Right, it's
nobody ever.
Right, yeah, it's like first off, that could be like a terminally ill dog that like had something serious wrong. Like there's no story behind that
obviously
picture.
older.
Yeah, like there's no story behind that.
They
Like,
could have had to do for 30, 20 years. Who knows?
yeah, it was just like, well, this guy had to euthanize his dog. Like, don't buy puppies. You have to state your cause a little bit.
Your son one day or daughter will pass away. Don't have babies. Right?
Right.
I mean, it's weird.
My quote for that is something I heard from.
But the reason I'm tied to this is because support.
Right. Yeah.
This is two totally different groups of people. One, support your local dogs and puppies and shelter. The other saying, don't do it, don't even buy them, period.
Right. A quote. That's a supportive quote that was given to me a long time ago.
A what? Poor?
A supportive
Oh,
quote.
supportive. I think supportive.
Supportive quote.
Supportive message.
So the quote though is, "It's better to love than lost than never loved at all." So the idea behind that is like, yeah, your dog will eventually pass away, but so will you and everybody else.
Oh, it's
But
yeah.
I mean, it's still better to have loved and had that that time with that dog than to never experience the love of like having a puppy. Like dogs are amazing.
Yeah, sometimes.
Everybody's got their problems.
But my thing, even for humans or even inanimate object, a car is going to break down.
Right.
A person's going to break down. An animal. The thing is if you
You can't avoid it.
But the thing is, even if a relationship ends, okay, so I've been in relationships that's ended. So have you.
Yep.
I've been in relationships for 6 months, 6 days, and 4 years I've been in relationships. You've been in the same type of relationship. Just because if somebody could tell you the outcome, you wouldn't listen because the journey's worth the outcome.
Yeah, like another good quote. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Right, you're not going to win everything, every situation. Even when it comes to, especially when it comes to life or death, you're always going to lose. Not one son of a bitch gets out of here alive.
Right.
So why shouldn't be your friend? Because you're going to die one day. It's not worth the heartache to get to know you. You said I'm out of here in the podcast.
Right,
No.
right.
You know, I mean, what? There's no reasoning behind that.
I definitely feel you. So we'll finish up the news here. I got one more, and you got one more.
Yes.
And then we'll
Well, no, mine will have to be after.
you want to come back on that?
It's 30 minutes after that.
Alright.
So finish
So
it. Yeah, I do
my-
want to come back because mine, that's deep.
Yeah,
Mine's
we'll go
horrible.
to that for a bit. So my last one was everybody freaked out over the Facebook information leak, that Facebook compiled all that data.
We covered that episode.
Yeah, I know.
4.
Or 5.
Four.
It might have been 5. Because it was, we
I'm
recorded it today.
I'm sure somebody out there named Brantley will let me know. Drew's talking to you. Let me know.
But anyway, so it was also surfaced that Google's idea of like their data collection for marketing and ads and all that, like their whole system compiles data, and people found out that you can download the data, everything Google has on you, and like it'll show you like a map of every time you've pinged a location, whether you
I'm
were
not
searching.
doing that. I'll never.
Oh,
do
like
that.
you can like literally have like a map with like pinpoints of places you've been,
Nope.
the times you were there.
I'm not doing it.
Messages you've sent to people, everything you've ever searched, you can download all of that.
Oh God.
I mean, and like,
See, I don't know anything about this.
right? So yeah, basically, it's like, and you can download it, look for it yourself. You can clear it out if you want
No, I don't want to touch it.
to. Right? I'm gonna leave it exactly.
I'll let you clear it out for me if that's okay.
I mean, to me, it betters us. Like, it's scared. People are scared. It's like, oh, they have all this information on me. But at the same time, how nice is it to be able to pull up your phone? And this is defending this horrible like amount of data. that
Yeah,
somebody
first of all,
has.
you are defending this. It's freaking me out a little bit.
Well, but there's goods to it. It's never affected us
Tell
so
me
far.
the goods.
So we've had smartphones
Do you
since
get
what?
that bottle cap?
Yeah. So we've had smartphones since what, like 2010, 2009, somewhere in that area.
I got my first smartphone in 2009,
Nine.
right before I graduated.
So and like we've had Google accounts
BlackBerry,
shortly there.
baby.
Yeah. So basically, all this data has been saved. Nothing bad's came from it. I've never lost my identity. I've never, nothing crazy. But when I pull up my phone in the morning on my way to work or wherever I'm going, it's like, oh, like your morning commute looks like it's going to take you 11 minutes. No traffic. The sun's going to be good. That's a good feeling. It's like, oh, I don't have anything bad to look forward to.
Yep.
Or like, on your way home.
No,
and it's
I
like,
don't think that's bad. Like that's
But
okay.
literally, the idea behind that is there's a pinpoint saying where you go, what time you get there.
And it shows you how many times you've traveled that route. Every morning I wake up, it says 13 minutes till work.
Right, and the idea, like, that's literally the time you leave. It's like, and when you're in the middle of the day not doing anything, it doesn't say that because it knows when you're going there.
If that's the only reason, that's a good thing.
Right, yeah, so,
If they're compiling this shit to get me into some like mass camps of people who are like me, I don't want to be around anybody.
no,
that's like
I
me.
get that, but that's what I'm saying.
It'll be me and Joe Rogan in a fucking tent somewhere talking about shit. I don't want that. I love you, Joe Rogan, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life with you.
But, like, the idea behind that is people are freaked out over stuff, but they're still good behind it. Like, that's why they compiled that data. And I get that it's still scary that, like, if somebody was malicious enough to get into that, they'd be like, oh, you're going to be at work at, like, 7 a.m. at this place at this exact
I'll
time.
cut you off. And
It's scary.
yeah, but to play devil's advocate, I'm just saying this on my behalf, and I can really say this: the government can go with everything I have.
Right.
If you don't have anything to hide, you probably shouldn't really give a shit, honestly. I mean,
That's the way I
if
look
you're
at
like a fucking child predator, or you're stealing money from the government, or you're stealing social security numbers, it's like kind of okay to crack down on you.
Right? Like, so.
I mean, how many average citizens are going out and Googling something and the police are just like mistaking them Googling something? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's just not happening.
So, but like, people were freaking out. I made the news too, and there was all these. Everybody was like on this bandwagon of like how to delete your Google metadata and all this, and everybody was like going on about it. It's like, I'm not going to do that. I like that little like I get alerts that let me know. It's like, oh, there's traffic. You should take this way instead on your way to work. And it's like,
Thank you.
right? I appreciate it. That's a nice
And I
convenience.
tell Alexa, thank you.
Right, and it's just like that stuff is nice, and people are like so paranoid these days about all this identity stuff getting let out. How many people actually have like credit cards taken out in their name, or like identity theft, or like?
But also, to your shit's out there no matter what.
Right.
If you want it on Yahoo, Bing, Google, whatever.
Well, like it's
out
been
there.
it's been forever ago now. But just an example of something like this, I had my credit card number stolen. Not the end of the world. Literally, I got a call from I don't remember the card I had. But basically, they called me one day at work and they're like, "Hey, did you try to buy plane tickets from California to wherever?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "Yeah, they were like $2,600, and we just wanted to check with you." It was like, "No, I didn't have that." They're like, "Okay, well, we want to let you know that this is fraud. Somebody's got your number. We're going to cancel this and get you a new card." I was like, "Not the end of the world." Like, everybody freaks out at stuff like that. It's like, wow, that's.
You want to know something crazy about me? I don't have one credit card.
I don't know.
I've never had a credit
Right.
card ever in my young adult life. That's crazy.
They're easy to abuse.
Oh, I know. That's why I don't have one, because I have no self-control. So I want to touch on two things. We got a couple minutes for this break, real
All right.
quick. So did you see where Elon Musk made the comment that he'd like to buy Facebook and shut it down?
I did, but that's
Don't
awesome.
put it past him.
He
Dude's
can
crazy.
do it.
He's
I mean,
crazy.
he started his own space program, and everybody
That's
thought he
what I
was
said.
crazy.
He's crazy. The second thing is, did you see the smart mirrors?
I've seen a while back.
Well, now they're in production now. Like,
Oh, they are?
$1,200. I think it's like $1,200, $1,299.
Is it made by Corning? They're the people that make Gorilla Glass.
I don't have the exact, but it runs Android.
Yeah, like it's like
So
basically
you
your
walk
mirror
in-
you can throw up and like get the weather.
Well, you walk in and it's light activated, so you turn the light on, it pops up. It shows your weather here. It can show YouTube here.
That's the greatest. Like that's awesome.
It is, but I just don't think I spend enough time in the mirror. Like, I mean,
Man,
I can't
my teeth,
justify
I
it.
change, you know, like
I could.
not for $1,200. No, I couldn't do that. But like, if-
100
I don't know.
more.
I mean, I would think about like I'd probably do it for $100 because
Yeah, 100.
bathroom mirrors are
but
expensive.
more though. More.
Yeah, I don't know what the.
Why though?
I wonder how much of it's actually
novelty.
the
It's
screen.
the whole mirror. It's the whole mirror. But that's novelty. I
To
mean,
me, once they integrate that, just like future-proof kind of thing, once they, like, my favorite idea of technology, straight out of Tony Stark. Like, the Avengers, when he's throwing stuff from his phone, picks it up, like, throws it over there and pulls it up on his mirror and stuff. Like, once that happens, yes, you can definitely, like...
But there's only, like, very, very certain apps you can run with that, like weather.
Yeah, but once it gets up there to the point that, like, technology's caught up, like, the idea of, like, you know, your glass phone that you pick up and lay it on the table, and then your
Oh,
whole
of course.
table... Like,
I mean, we're creators. We create things.
Once that gets there, I'm so for that. Like, that'll be the day.
I have no problem with plugging my entire brain into a computer system. I mean, dead serious, because it's going to happen anyways. I'm like 50% go move to a farm and never use technology again, but 50%
It's
take
like,
my
yeah, like,
whole
go ahead,
time-
like, give me, like, a robotic arm.
download my memory onto some. You know, I mean, I'm there and there. So
Speaking of, we'll go over recommendations in a little bit, but the whole download your brain thing,
recommendations on what?
just like stuff we've watched, listened to, things like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
After the break.
So let's take a break because I've got the last news story. We'll go into recommendations, then we'll go into the main theme.
And we'll close up.
Because we're running on 35 minutes here.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
I
So
don't think
we'll
that-
be right back, everybody. Hope you enjoy.
Ready?
Yep. Welcome back, everybody.
We are rolling.
Something like that.
All right. So before the break, we were talking about.
Last news topic. Well, actually, we were talking about the data that Google has on you, but it's helped our lives, and then we kind of dove into like the Avengers, Tony Stark technology, and how great the future could be.
And now I want to talk about how shitty the future is because of this. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. I'll give you the name. Feel free to watch it, but it is absolutely horrible, horrific. Don't watch it, honestly. Oh, dude, look. It's So the name of the guy who uploaded was Cadillac Coleman. And I'll talk about it at first because I found it and then I showed it to you, and we'll talk about it from there. So Cadillac Coleman on Facebook uploaded a video.
Right.
I don't know if he was in the video. I don't know who he is in this, but it's three people in a car. A dude in the passenger side, a dude in the back, and a woman on the driver's side. And there's a gun in the middle, and they're talking about how people won't roll up on them or do something like this because they do have a gun and stuff like this. Well, the woman starts fidgeting with the gun. The guy on the passenger side is
Was
kind
kinda nervous.
kind of
Yeah, he was-
sketchy because
He was reaching for it.
He kind of reached for it, but kind of telling her like calm down
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff, respect the weapon, because it seems to me like he didn't know the woman.
That's the impression I got.
Because at one point in the video, you hear, "Where are you from?" Something to that effect.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and claim I know everything that happened because I really don't. I just watched it a couple times because I didn't think it was real at first. Where are you from? And then the woman says something along the lines of, "If you do pull up on us, this will happen." She cocks the gun. And
Well, no. She pulls the trigger and you hear it click.
Right, well, then she cocks
Then,
the
yeah,
gun.
she
So
chambers
then the
around.
guy puts his hand up to put the gun down. The guy in the back says, "Relax, there's no clip in it." The woman cocks back and fires the weapon, shoots the dude in the face. The dude makes the worst noise I've ever heard in my life. It's some kind of moan, and then his head leans towards the driver's side, and then it's just a shower of blood. I'm telling you, don't watch it. It's horrible.
It was a horrible video.
It's horrible, but it was a live accidental gunshot, and it's going viral. Everybody's watching it. So that leads me to this news topic. I got a lot to say about this. So number one is I am a gun enthusiast. I love guns.
Right.
I respect guns.
Right.
I don't aim guns at people. I don't shoot guns at people.
That's number one rule. Treat every gun as if it were loaded.
Yep. Definitely in this case, man. So number one, the first thing I want to get into is having guns out in the open with people you don't know.
Don't do it.
Period.
Just don't do it.
Is there a reason? Would you ever? No.
I mean, especially somebody you don't know. That's literally, this is the prime example of what could go wrong.
And this just went live like 10 hours ago. No, this was this morning.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sitting here telling you I know all the facts on this
Right.
because I'm not reporting news to you guys.
No,
That's
but
the
you did a
thing.
little digging.
I did a little digging, and the last thing I seen, the dude's in critical condition. I mean, he's going to be.
It's grim. It's
It's
There's
grim.
no other way to show that it's grim.
going to be bad, and that's sad.
Mhm.
But this woman gets in the car, she's fidgeting with the gun and stuff like that. The dude literally probably lost his life, and I saw that he did have daughters. And this is where I want to get into the main topic, and I'll let you discuss. I won't talk the whole time about it, but with Facebook and social media, Instagram, Twitter, Snap, dude, you get information so fast and in a flurry, and then it takes off. I mean, the internet's permanent.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. How are these videos, see, as a gun enthusiast, and I love guns, but how are these videos able to stay up so long with no consequences? And if it was going to be blocked, dude, I'm still showing you the video.
Right.
12 hours later. If it was going to be blocked, it'd be blocked by now.
Right.
No, this dude's kids got Facebook. Everybody in the world's got Facebook. You think they want to see their dad?
Oh, no.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's disrespectful.
So where do we draw the lines with social media? Do we try to raise awareness with gun safety by using these videos, or do we immediately block these videos? I'll let you tell me your point of view, and then I'll kind of go into mine.
I feel like there should be some censoring, especially of like the outcome. Like,
Because
that's awful.
that outcome was probably the most graphic. Beside Bud Dwyer's video, you guys don't look that one up either unless you want.
But yeah, that was, I feel like that's a little too explicit. That shouldn't be, especially on Facebook and stuff like that. That's awful. I don't feel like it should be up at all. Like, I don't feel like that should have been flagged. That should have been pulled down, and like people.
I personally think
banned.
the users should have been banned.
Right, and it's messed up too because like the people that posted that, like, for no other reason than just
Views.
for views, for like publicity.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Why did the dude upload it? Why was it uploaded in the first place?
Well, that's like what we was talking about on break, man. Like the idea, like from a marketer standpoint, we both have business degrees and stuff. Like the idea of like any publicity is bad publicity. I feel like the world we live in today, they take that way too far, and people know that everybody loves this bad publicity, this negative like controversy, and that is the definition.
Controversy gets clicks.
Yeah.
Clickbait. It's a
And that's exactly what that
is.
is. Is that's so awful and explicit and negative that it's just like it's wildfire, dude. It just flames out of control, and like that's like I feel bad for that guy's family and stuff. Like that's a horrible situation.
And also, too, the person who uploaded it had to know him.
Right? You're not just gonna stumble on that video.
Well, one of the three, first of all, the one that's either dying or in critical condition is not going to
He's not
upload
gonna.
it.
Yeah.
And then the other two, the one who pulled the trigger is not going to upload it because that's
No.
going to incriminate
And that
them.
one guy is probably
And
never be
then-
seen again.
And then the third guy is trying. He got out of
Yeah,
there
he was-
so
he was
fast
gone.
that he doesn't want to incriminate himself. So somebody, I don't have a friend on this planet that if I saw that happening, the first thing I think about is to upload that to Facebook.
No.
I don't understand how that could be. That wouldn't even be a forethought, afterthought. That would be nothing to me. Like
No, that's what. Why?
that's
What
like
makes
my
people
mind,
do that?
Like my mind is completely gone because somebody who uploaded that has to know one of those people. They have to.
Right. And what makes me feel bad is like the idea that, you know, we're giving this attention and it's just fueling the fire, and that's not what we want about this at all.
No, I'm not telling you.
No,
that.
like,
You not
yeah,
to go
definitely,
watch it.
like, you know, if people are going to like picket something or stand against something, that's a good example of like, you know, humiliating somebody's like what could be his last moments, like,
Yeah.
and then just showing it for views.
And I want thank you. I'm not cutting you off, but I'm also backing you up. I didn't say that for people to go watch it.
Yeah, right.
I was saying don't watch it because it's so explicit. I'm trying to bring awareness to not do those things.
yeah, like it's
Somebody
a horrible
fails,
situation.
somebody falling and tripping.
That's different.
Or wrecking something and they're okay. Okay.
Embarrassing videos, like people get a kick out of that. America's Funniest Home Videos was a series that literally made
30 years.
all that money over all those years because this stuff was funny and people were okay.
But
That's
that's
not okay.
catastrophic. That's I honestly will say this live right here. This is me saying that's the worst shit I've ever seen in my entire life. That's the
It was
worst.
bad.
Do you remember back in the day, Rotten.com?
Yeah, like it was bad stuff.
God, it was horrible.
Not like that.
I mean, people were getting their heads chopped off and everything. But those were pictures and things like that, because this was like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Back when we, dial up.
Because you didn't really have cell phones that could create everything, or Facebook Live. So to see that live, that's honestly the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Especially like just how it just bounces around and stuff. Like the speed that something can go viral, like that is messed up.
And that's what I wanted to touch on before we leave this topic, is if you're going to go out there and you're going to advocate for something or protest something, protest that stuff. Protest the media. Protest the ones who are painting, because tomorrow morning every news station in America is going to be playing that unedited version.
Yeah.
But this was picked up on Facebook Live. This is what not to do. Every one of them are going to do that. And guess what? Everybody's going to tune in and watch it. They're not going to believe it. They're going to Google the Facebook. This guy's going to get 1 million views. And I'm not saying he did it out of malicious, because I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the purpose.
See, but that's the thing. I don't know why he uploaded it.
Like, how in good conscience could anybody be like, well, this was a tragic event. Let me just throw it up on YouTube real quick just to monetize it and see what happens.
To not even know if the guy's alive or dead.
Right,
if
yeah.
if he's doing it to advocate safe gun rules and laws,
but there was no comments or anything.
Edit it, and then put it up after you know what your friend's going through. I mean, dude, it's something else. It's crazy. So the main point of the story is, guys, the media twists everything.
Right.
So if you're going to be posting some shit like that, like I said, the internet is forever. Don't get yourself in a position where you're, potentially making somebody else's, that could be the dude's last day on Earth.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to get views. I don't know if he is, but I'm saying.
But why else would you post something like that? You're not doing that for any kind of awareness without, editing that out. Like if you can watch something.
See, I wonder, though, if it was their Facebook Live and then it went that, can that happen? I don't know.
You would see, there's always, the little boxes and stuff. Anything live video, first off, it's choppy, and that was pretty clear. And then there's, comments and stuff, if somebody liked it, or, it tells you how many people's watching. None of that was in that video.
So it was pre-recorded then. That's fucked up. That's
Yep.
sad. And he's got kids, and they're going to see that shit. I don't want to see, my dad.
But it's dude, where's the decency? What person's this is something I'm going to share with the world? Well, how is that okay? It doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. There's still, a little bit of decency that's just we ain't going to worry about that. We're going to post this.
Well, like I said, with clickbait and Instagram, social media, Facebook, is you can get more clicks. That's all they want. And that's that. Don't be that person. Listen, straight up for the men of cause.
Yeah, that's...
Don't be that person. If you got somebody or somebody's going through something, do not use them. And it's like this. I see this all the time. And I heard a comedian say this, and I can't remember who it was, but I'll try to get credit to them if I can. If not, I'm not stealing their line. But it was literally along the lines of, when a catastrophe happens, let's just say the Skull of Hope. I'm making that up.
Right.
I'm just making it up. But a Skull of Hope goes to a tragedy. When somebody posts, prayers for the Skull of Hope, give me a like or something like that, that's not what they mean. They're literally saying, hey, don't fucking forget about me in this moment of tragedy.
Right.
And that's so shitty. Don't do that. If you want to help, go donate your time or some money to those people. And I'm not saying you have to donate $1 million. Go donate $5.
It's okay to raise awareness. Isn't a bad thing.
Perfect. Raise awareness.
If you do it respectfully. Guys, make sure to check out this charity. They're sending food or clothes to whatever the charity may be. That's okay. But to be I feel so bad that this is going on for those people. This is my thoughts on it. This is why I feel bad about it.
You're not a politician.
Right, yeah, that's twisting things in your own favor and using something like a tragedy as your platform. That's not okay.
Don't use that. So, straight up, I think that's probably the most important thing we've ever talked about on 7 episodes. From the Man of Cause, don't use twisted, messed up shit to get likes. Be a decent human,
right.
At least.
And people need to realize, you might not mean to support stuff like this, but at the same time, if you're sharing that video, if you send it to your friends or whoever, if you share it on your page or, like it on YouTube.
If you send it in a message and say, dude, watch this and be careful, that's different.
Yeah, but the people that's just mass sending that to everybody in their friends list and stuff like that,
on their feed.
You're supporting the person that uploaded that to make them feel like it's okay. That's not okay.
It's not okay. It's not a good thing.
You gotta be careful in who you support too, because stuff like that, you can't support a video like that. It doesn't matter who you are. You can refer to that video and be like, look, this isn't okay, but don't watch it. It's just, this is what happened. That's different. But it just send if I opened my text from you and saw that video and you didn't say anything else, that'd be a little messed up. I know you wouldn't do that,
No.
But say it was somebody else, whatever the case may be. But still, like, that's just messed up.
Right. So, from that, I don't want. Is that a yes or no?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay, so I didn't. That's. I don't want to get too negative with that. Just do things for the right reason. That's the main thing.
Right.
So on to the last thing before we go into the main thing is
We got the
recommendations.
news. Yeah, we got the news. Now for recommendations, something that I was mentioning earlier. Oh yeah, we was talking about the technology, and you're like, yeah, just download my brain, back me up and stuff. Something I watched recently was the first season. Netflix came out with a new original called Altered Carbon, and like that was the definition of what that show's about. Like, it's hard to give it, like, to tell you a whole lot about it without giving it away.
Don't tell us a whole lot, because
But the premise is like, the idea is you're in the future. The whole meaning was, this one person, like a scientist in the future, created a way to travel farther. Like it takes so many years to get to another planet that your life's almost done at that point. So she found a way to download your brain in like a little chip. That's pretty smart. So, like you basically create another body on another planet. You send the data over, and then you're in like another body.
That'll probably be happening in like 30 years.
That's pretty crazy.
What do they call the bodies?
Oh, the bodies are sleeves.
That's crazy.
And then you could upgrade your sleeve. Like, you go into the store and be like, I feel like I'm not lean enough, or I'd rather have black hair. Or like, and you could literally just go.
I'd rather have hair.
Right, yeah, just go in and be like, all right, here's and like you just swiped your wrist to pay for stuff or whatever. It's just like, yeah, go ahead. I'll take some nice dreadlocks today, like whatever the case.
You know what I do for some dreadlocks?
But it's definitely a cool show. The ending was pretty twisted. I didn't see it coming. And I love stuff like that. It's on the darker side, so depending on who wants to watch that might be something.
I would cut your left arm off for dreadlocks. Straight up on the podcast.
Appreciate that.
Anybody out there that can give me dreadlocks and needs a left arm?
It's a pretty good left arm. It's long.
It's long. It's ugly, but hit me up on social media. I need that. I need those dreadlocks.
The dark web.
So again, and I know this has been put into the ground a million times, Lil Dicky, he's working on a new CD. Freaky Friday's fucking awesome. Go listen to it. Go watch the video. The video is funny.
That's a funny video. I like
and
that.
I am not a Chris Brown fan. I don't agree with what he does,
but it's still good.
It's funny.
It's a good song. It's a funny video.
Just go watch it. But and he also, I watched he's got a new interview up on YouTube. Go watch it.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's with Big Boy, and I can't remember the cast he's with, but like every song he's releasing off the album is conceptual, like he does, like Freaky Friday, like Pillow Talking. So that's great. I also have a video to watch that's awesome.
Alright.
That's amazing. It's a documentary. It's called Patient 17 on Netflix. Have you watched it? Have you saw it on there? So I'll give you the general synopsis. I don't want to, if I say, like, literally say the wrong words, you're going to know, like, the ending.
Yeah.
But it's actually a documentary. It's
right.
Real people. So Patient 17, oh, the ending is so cool. Because, like, this guy you're talking to the whole time, you don't know who he is, and it's amazing. But I watched it twice in a week. That's how good this documentary is. It's not that long.
So it's not a series. It's just a
no.
documentary.
It's just a movie. But Patient 17, it's about this guy. He's like 55, 60 years old. He's just an older dude, and he's got an Elsinore CR250. Just a regular ass dude who's just living his life, and he don't want any problems. He got a family. He lives out in the country. You can, like, with alien things, you can tell who wants attention. You can
Right.
Well, this dude literally wants to be left alone from everything. Okay. But for his entire life, he knows he's been abducted. He knows for a fact he's been abducted, and scientists keep asking him why. Well, for years and years, he just pushes him. He don't want to talk about it. Like, it's bad to this guy. Like, he don't want to believe that it happened. Is the main thing. So, Patient 17, he actually agreed and signed a waiver, and he did a surgery where they cut out an implant. And there are multiple implants that they find. And every single piece of material from that implant is not of this earth. There's like iron ore and alloys in it that are so dense that our earth has never seen it before.
Right.
Like, our earth would have to go on for like 10 million years to find a dense enough.
Right.
And it's like, it's like an inch. It's an inch.
Like just small.
And why I recommend this documentary is because they actually pull it out and you see it. And then they show you under the microscope. So then it goes more into a story about where you would think the dude's getting answers and stuff like this. The dude hates it. Like, he didn't want to believe it was real.
Right.
But he would be out walking or farming or riding or something like that, and his leg would just start hurting so bad, like to the point where he'd have to lay down.
Right.
And they pull it, and it's a real freaking thing, dude. It's a real, like, just go watch it. It's unbelievable.
I'll definitely.
And I don't know anybody out there that's that obsessed with, that would implant
the minerals
Like
that aren't of this earth.
Like a fake. Like there's like first of all, the materials. There's no way to get them. But second of all, the dude wasn't thinking at 16 to implant something in his leg that after 60 years the skin's grown over. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, surgery can tell you that. Patient 17, and then
It's actually my number.
Give me a comment on the end of this video if you watched it, because then I want you to talk about patient 15, and that's a spoiler. That's the only one I'll give. It's amazing. What have you been listening to?
Here lately is just straight Pandora. So there's been a lot of Tech Nine, Logic, Jeezy, like my normal. Nothing new. I mean, I watched the Lil Dicky video about the same time you did, but it's just nothing really new on my end when it comes to music.
Shit.
Yep.
Well, I have completely changed my.
Last time me and you were riding around, it was I think it was your last time we did recommendations was the older guy like that had recently came out with some like crazy scream.
Oh, you're talking about Tom Waits.
Yeah.
No, I'm not listening to Tom Waits this week. This week, dude, of Mice and Men.
Oh yeah, we did listen to that.
They're not coming out with a lot of new stuff, but for some reason I am on to them right now. Mice and Men, just a fantastic band. Go check. I mean, they're old. They've been out for
right. Yeah, there's definitely people that's like, oh.
For some reason though, lately I've just been really digging a lot of the things they've been doing. And even this this CD came out in 2011, The Flood. I've revisited The Flood, and it's just a fantastic album. That's all I got. Video games, Friday the 13th still.
Still on Friday the 13th. I haven't even played a game. Actually, I lied. I've been playing a little bit of Zelda lately.
Breath of the Wild?
Yep.
Fantastic game. I haven't touched my Switch in so long.
So
I'll do that though. I spend money and then I don't even play them again.
That's been there.
All right, so on to the main topic. Let's get to the.
We got through the recommendations. To the meat. Support. You said you had conflicting views on support.
And when we talked off camera, you have warm feelings.
Well, that was like, we are good vibes. Like, so the idea of this was like, for example, my weekend. It's like I was out supporting my brother, doing what I could to help him, being there to cheer him on, stuff like that. Was kind of where this came from, was like, and then, the whole stigma of not wanting to ask for support, not asking for help, things like that. Like, I've had people help me out recently, and that was cool. Like, I appreciated that. So to me, that's where this came from, was like, for me, it's a matter of like having those people that support you and being in your corner, and then, going out and doing the same, pay it forward, like, helping family, helping whoever you can that deserves it. So that's kind of where...
Deserves it? Okay, so let's just start... Where can we start this? Oh my God, this is a deep topic.
All right, let's just hit it with the controversy. Where's your negative view?
All right, so we'll start with the controversial part, my negative views. I've been in relationships.
Right.
Plenty. You've been in relationships. I have seen over my lifetime a recurring factor of I have a friend base, I have a family base, and then I have my girlfriend base, or my significant other. I don't care if you date a girl.
Right.
I don't give a shit. We're the men of cause, not the men of fucking being mean to people. You know what I mean? So My thing is, the controversial part of this is when you have support from different angles, trying to play those out in your favor in the end. Because everybody who supports you should mean well.
Right.
But 99% of the time, my friends believe different than my family believes different than my significant other.
So it's like a big old game of support.
Am I alone, or do you feel that?
I feel like sometimes that can be, but so what kind of support are we talking about?
I mean anything from career related to.
So your family supports your career, but your significant other doesn't.
Let's go into that. That's a good example. So so your family thinks, okay, well you should definitely do this. You should do this. Well, your fiance, girlfriend, whatever, wife even thinks, well, you're going to be subjected to a lot of issues that could happen. You're going to be around a lot of women. I'm just talking serious. So.
Right.
I mean, you don't.
But would you call that support? If your girl, just hypothetically.
Support, but the support that she has for you is to go to another job.
So that's what I'm saying. So is that support in her best interest or yours? So if you're going to be around a lot of women, is she supporting you? Like I want you to follow your dreams.
First of all, hold on. I mean that in a career standpoint. I don't mean going out and partying.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like you're going to have this secretary that I'm uncomfortable with. and this very good, high-paying job that you've worked hard for, is she supporting your career, or is she supporting, her own personal motives?
Now, okay, but then do you play your support of people to her strengths or weaknesses? What do you do? Because that's your wife. That's
I don't
your
know.
girl.
Well, yeah. So I don't know that I would call that part her supporting you.
It's supporting me to go get a different job. I don't have a girlfriend, so this.
This is all hypothetical.
This is all hypothetical.
But so if she's trying to,
I am very single. And 1304. No, I'm just I'm not giving that shit on YouTube.
careful, Brett might call you.
Bradley Gilbert can go get it.
But anyway.
No. So she supports me to better myself, go get a better job, maybe. From her standpoint, is she wrong though?
To get a better job? Okay,
Is she wrong? Is she wrong though? No, technically no.
No, not exactly.
So that's the controversial part. You have all these support systems. It takes multiple beams to hold up a building.
No, yeah, I get that.
So the same with a man's life. There's multiple beams that hold you up. But what if one of those beams are weaker than the other?
I mean, the weakest, the
No,
weak breaks.
go ahead.
But see, that part's tricky to me. Like, because I was looking at, like...
Yeah, but you're a man and I'm a man. We're talking about the men and cause. These people want to hear what you want to say.
Right. I still feel like if there's selfish reasons behind something, it's not that genuine support. And we're all about being genuine.
But
So-
here's the main thing, and I'm not cutting you off.
Right.
But you don't see those selfish reasons until it's too late. And in a relationship,
That's true.
I know your past relationships. You know mine.
That's true. Yeah, there's definitely...
You don't see those until 6 months detached
when you
from those.
zoom out and then you look back.
So
Yeah.
then what?
In that situation, it's definitely tricky to juggle things. And it comes down to, like, at the end of the day, when it comes to, say, you're getting pushed and pulled in different directions by different people that support you, it's down to you to make the best decision with the information you have.
And I'll agree with that. And that's what I wanted to get through before we talk about supporting others. And this is the main thing about this episode. And I'm so glad you said that.
All right.
Because as a man, and you're a man, obviously. And when I say as a man, you can be a woman. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about a
just
strong, independent
As a
person.
person, yeah.
I was told something the other day at a conference that I had to go to and stuff like this, and it was saying about you're only sorry if you're sorry. So what I'm saying about that is this: no matter who supports you or what, if you feel like you're making the right decision and you support your own self as a man, then everybody else can just lay by the wayside. Because guess what? If you don't support the decisions you make as a man, how can you support your family in doing what they're doing? You have to be strong and confident in the decisions you make. So number one is support yourself. That's where I wanted to tie all this back to. This is a beautiful thing. That's what I'm telling you.
Right, I agree with that.
Because if I make 10 wrong decisions, but I support those,
Yeah, you made it. You stand behind
I
it.
stand behind those. And guess what? People say, "Well, I can talk to that." Well, I don't have to talk to that. You don't either. You're a man
Right.
or a woman. You're a strong person. You don't have to take no.
You don't have to explain yourself. You made the decision.
This is your life. If you mess up and you fuck up and you make 10 wrong decisions, no one can tell you were wrong because you made that decision based on the data you had inside your brain.
Yep.
If you mess up as a person, you can sit there and articulate
And you
what
can
you've
accept
done.
it. I mean, you
You
can't
accept
pretend
it
like it
and
didn't
move
happen.
on.
Yeah.
But
You
you're not-
own it and you move on.
But
Move
you're not
forward.
going to sit there and beg for forgiveness. I'm not.
No.
As a man, if I mess up a million times and lose everything I have, I'm not going to beg anybody for forgiveness. I'm
Right.
not going to do it. So guess what? That's what I want to talk about before we talk about how you offer support.
Yeah, and to wrap that, yeah.
Support yourself.
So, and to wrap that around, you said, like, before you would beg for anything, like, you own that you've made those decisions.
Absolutely.
And you supported your own decisions. And in times like that, that's exactly kind of where this goes full circle, is like, in that situation, a lot of people are worried about asking for help. Like, well, actually, there's a lot of beggars out there, but like, good, genuine people.
You mean mental help.
Yeah, just support from your friends, like, regardless of what kind of help it is, like somebody to talk you through a decision.
Oh, that's man's worst enemy.
Right, yeah, guys don't ask for directions, we don't ask for help, we don't ask for, like,
I
consideration.
would literally, as a man, rather die than ask for help for something. But guess what? Go ahead.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it's okay. Like, sometimes it's way easier to make it through a tough situation with the support of, like, your best friend
You
or your
just said
family.
it. You just said you're a genius.
But
It's okay.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's okay. Just ask for support.
Right? And, I mean, you don't have to just, like, be blunt about it. Like, it's okay to beat around the bush or something like that, too.
But when you beat around the bush, your friend's going to know.
Yeah, I mean, especially a good friend.
If it's a friend.
Yeah. But, I mean, and, like, not only are your friends there for you to lean on, but it's okay for you to be there to lean on your friends. Like, it goes both ways. Like, supporting people that you care about. Like, whether it's being there to just cheer somebody on or help them with little odds and ends. Or, say somebody needed something serious or just somebody to talk to. Like, it goes both ways.
Okay. So I'll speak on that a little bit, and I'm not trying to interrupt you by any means. I'm just saying, like, you hit the nail on the head, and I actually kind of looked over all that because I was so in the moment of supporting yourself. Because I get sick of this as a man. I get told by family, friends, anybody that I'm talking to, work colleagues, what I need to do.
Right.
But if you don't have a strong foundation to support yourself, you're not going to do any of that. So that.
Yeah. Okay. You said what you need to do. That's tricky.
No. What you
their opinion of what you should do.
What you quotation need to do.
Right.
Is what I meant by that.
Yeah.
I say that in sarcasm because I forget that I'm on camera and I'm not talking to my best friend.
Right. And like, that's tricky because I don't know if I would call that support.
But if it comes from the heart.
See, what I'm calling support is like what I was saying.
See, this is why it's controversial.
Yeah, like how you look at support.
But it's not just how you look at it though.
I know, it's how everybody looks at it.
Because if you're, I'm just speaking out of shit. If your grandma legitimately thinks you need to open up a cake baking business, no matter what you do in your life, she thinks your calling is cake baking.
All right, so what's an
Technical
episode?
difficulties. So we're talking about the cake thing. Your grandma's talking about you should do this, you should do that. Your family supports this, supports that, but you don't want to do it. At the same time, that comes from somewhere good.
Right.
So at the same time, if you feel like that's the best thing you should do, even if you have a different support group like your friends, you shouldn't be scared to ask for that support.
Right, and that's kind of what it all comes down to is, at the end of the day, whether your grandma's supporting you to be a cake baker, if your friends are just there to help you through tough times, or your spouse is there to support you at like pursuing a new career and following your dreams.
Or they don't support you.
Or they don't. Just know that it's okay. Like, if you need that support, like if I need to talk to you about something serious to work through a decision, if like I want to be there to help you get that podcast up and rolling, at the end of the day, it's okay. And that's kind of what it all kind of revolved around with was it's okay to be there and support others. It's okay to need support.
It's okay to ask for support.
Right, and that's, guys, I mean, not everybody can relate to this, but I feel like most people can. Sometimes it's tough to ask for help. Not like we're a little past that. But there's plenty of times in my past, or even like something that's like, support for directions. Guys don't ask for directions.
Yeah, we talked about that.
That's a stigma.
So I'll bring this up from CNN real quick, and this is a direct report from an actual thing that happened.
Yeah, just kind of to tie everything together, the whole episode.
So one of my favorite people of all time started in wrestling. I actually started from a horrible football career who needed to do more with that. Felt like he couldn't, got depressed, things happened. And that's none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. A lot of people hate on him, but to me, I think he's a fantastic person.
Oh, dude, I love The Rock.
So straight from CNN, Dwayne Johnson reveals battle with depression and his mother's suicide attempt. I think we can all relate to something that he says here. So I'll just read it verbatim and we'll talk about it.
Right.
So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson revealed that times have been harder for him than fans know. It's not all glitz and glam. Of course, that's how it's always going to be with celebrities, right?
Right.
So he said, struggle and pain is real. He said, I was devastated and depressed. Why did that happen? So he revealed, he said that he went through a dark period years ago when injuries ended his dreams of playing professional football. Dude's built like a freaking ox. He could have played football if he wanted to. But he had some issues in the Canadian Football League. Right. He was released within a year of signing with the Canadian Football League, and shortly after this, his then girlfriend broke up with him. I mean, that's
a 1-2. That's tough times in itself, but it gets worse.
That's 2 strikes. Number 3. But Johnson said the worst time came when he was a teenager and his mother, almost her name, you can look it up, attempted suicide after they lost their apartment. They were on the interstate. This is quote, she got out of the car on Interstate 65 in Nashville and walked into oncoming traffic as he was in the car. Johnson said, I grabbed her, pulled her back on the gravel shoulder of the road. Dude, that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Your mom walks into oncoming traffic. What? He needs some support at that time from anybody. I mean, come on. So basically he said, skip a few, he said, what's crazy about that suicide attempt is that to this day she has no recollection of it whatsoever. He said probably best that she doesn't, which is a beautiful thing for a guy to say, man. I mean,
for sure. For him to, and that's support in itself. To be the son that's, there for your mom, to say it's best that she doesn't remember that, like, I'm there for her, like, that takes a strong man. And I don't mean
to
the
not,
fact that...
And preach on it. Like, remember when you did that to me?
Yeah.
Like,
To be a man that's, like that strong physically, like, he's way stronger mentally, I feel like. Like, to be able to, to support your family, like, to help your mom through that, like...
So he said two things after that. He said, we both healed, but we've always got to do our best to pay attention when other people are in pain. We have to help them through and remind them that they're not alone. And that's a huge thing with support. And he also said that it's not easy. I don't have the verbatim here, but he said it's not easy for just a man to stand up and ask for that. So, and
that goes into exactly what we're saying. Like, the end all of here is it's okay. Like, support works in so many ways. Not just like, helping somebody out, not just asking for help, which it's still okay to do both those things, or to help, to support yourself, to follow through on stuff. Like, the idea behind that is, like, I definitely wish there were more rocks in the world. Is like, to be somebody that, that
dominant.
That dominant, that masculine, and even like, that well known, like his celebrity type status, is like, he's doing just that. He's following what we're trying to preach this episode. Is like, he's leaning to the public, his viewers, his fans, to lean on them and, like to look for that support to help him through these tough times. The same as he's there to show everybody, you're not alone. Like, it's okay to need help. It's okay to help somebody. Like, he's doing exactly what the opposite of that guy from the earlier video that we're not going to, try to bring up or mention or anything. It's like he's there to help people and to ask for help versus, trying to tear people down or just spread negativity.
Right. And I think what's important too is, like we talked about earlier, is supporting yourself first. Right. That's the main thing. And the reason I say that is because he didn't talk about this early in his career. He didn't talk about this when he was young, and he was going through this alone.
Right.
But he was so smart and so strong-minded that he supported himself to where he could be in a position to where he could advocate to say that it's okay.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Back in the early '90s and stuff like that, we really didn't have platforms like this. We didn't have podcasts or CNN.com or YouTube. You couldn't really get into these actors' feelings or anything like this. I mean, when I watched him, the dude was slamming Stone Cold on his ass or beating under. I saw the strongest guy in the world. But how would I know that a couple months before he won the Intercontinental Championship that his mother tried to kill herself? Like, I could have never known that.
No.
So what I'm saying is to use your social media platforms to spread those good vibes, to say, hey, I need support, or there's a support system here.
Right.
And as we do with our Instagram or our social media or anything like that, is we are promoting good vibes. So it's to say, hey, no matter what you're going through, like you said earlier, 99% of people have been through it.
Right,
no matter what it is.
Yeah, like the idea behind that is no matter what you're doing, somebody's there that's passionate about it, trying to do it, or has done it.
I think that's 100%. I actually don't think it's 90%. I think 100%. I think anything you've been through, somebody's been through.
Right, well, what I meant by that is there's always those weird exceptions, like trying something completely new, like the first man that went to space, or the first, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's those weird
I think
oddballs.
if I went out there and just, like, ate a goldfish, like, somebody could be like, I know what you're going through. Like, I mean, that weird shit.
Steve-O comes out of nowhere, he's like,
yeah, bro. No, you know what? I think that the times that you lose support are the times you don't reach out.
Right. Yeah. And it goes both ways. Like, you can be there to help somebody. Like, sometimes they might not want to ask for it, but you can just be there to show support, to cheer somebody on, to help them start a podcast, to let them know it's okay. Or at the same time, it's still okay to be like, hey, bro, like, I'm going through some stuff and I got to make this tough decision, whether it be like a new career, wanting to pursue something, and be like, what's your take on this, man? Like, like, what do you see? And you'll be like, yeah, man, I think you should do it. Like, it's okay either way. Like, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to give help, or just be there to support somebody.
Exactly. And I don't know if this was edited out or not because we had some technical difficulties, but I said this earlier, and I think this rings true. It takes a lot of columns to hold a building up.
Right. It does take a lot of columns. And
if one of those columns, this kind of goes back to the relationship thing. If you're building a building around a family or a friendship or something like that, and you feel this negative weight on this column, go ahead and address it.
Right.
Don't build that whole entire foundation around that and then hope it gets better. It's not going to.
No, it isn't.
That's the thing about support. Don't start a relationship, a friendship, a business ship. That's me and him have learned a lot about each other from doing, and it's not a business, we don't get paid to do this.
Yeah.
I don't mean that.
And not even just this.
Well, and I mean anything outside of this, but this, to me, means a lot to me.
Oh, for sure.
But it's not a business. We don't get paid to do this by any means. We're not sponsored by anybody, but it is a business schedule. I have to meet him at certain times. He has to come here at certain times. We have to put up
We
shit.
got our homework to do. We got our editing. We got all these.
So if I was to build this relationship with you or with a relationship without support, when this does take off, or when somebody does want to be in your life, or when a family member does support a career move, that will fall so fast. And not saying you will fail. See what I'm saying?
But you can still rebuild.
You could have a family member who absolutely does not believe in the career choice you're making whatsoever, at all.
Right.
And they disagree with it.
Right.
That's a block in something you build. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get that job and you're making $100,000, $200,000 a year. Well, you're going to be bitter to them, even though it's not rightful or not. You're going to be bitter towards them because they didn't want you to do it in the first place. So they're down on their luck, and they need some help financially or something like that. Are you going to help them? I mean, I would, but I'm saying to certain people, well, you didn't support me,
right?
Son of a gun, you know.
Right.
So the thing is like we said, support yourself, but also support others. But also, the main point of this episode is it's okay to ask for support.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the only person that understands your feelings are the people you talk about your feelings to.
Yep. You pick your support group. At the end of the day, you don't have to talk to a stranger on the street.
You can, though.
Yeah, you can. If you want to just get help from some random person, they may be more than happy to help you.
Probably not the best way to do it.
That's not what we would recommend. But you choose that support group. The idea behind it is just like The Rock said, it's okay, to let people know, to let people that somebody's went through it. You can find help, and it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to give help, even if somebody's not bringing it up. Like we talked about earlier, I don't remember which episode it was, but we was talking about if somebody's uneasy or something, it's okay to check up on them, to support them and to help them.
Yeah, it's a phone call. If you don't have 5 minutes to spend to somebody you care about, family, friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you're probably a shitty person. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and you shouldn't expect anybody to help you either.
And that's the thing with support system. I'm actually glad this technical difficulty happened, because this opens up a lot of different things. This is actually a blessing in disguise, because that's something else we should tackle real quick. Is if you do have a friend or somebody, I know somebody that went through something horrific lately.
Right.
But they're so prideful they will never speak about it. Right. They will never say a word about it, ever. But if you're around people enough, you can see characteristics and behaviors, right?
Right, for sure.
You pick up on a characteristic or behavior that makes you uneasy, you are not, no matter what, this is from the Menacause, you are not overstepping your boundary if you call them and say, hey, is everything okay? I noticed you were acting out of character.
All right.
So people are so pissy in today's times. Today's times are so fragile. Mm-hmm. You can't say anything or do anything.
Right.
People get so pissed off. But you are not overstepping your boundaries 1,000,000% if you just call them and say, hey, I know me and you and a couple guys from work went out to lunch lately, and I noticed he's acting a little bit off. I'm not trying to call you up. Is everything okay?
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's support. You're supporting
99
somebody.
out of 100 people want that call. Want it, but they will not ask for it.
No, for sure.
Back me up.
Oh, yeah, and that's why...
I won't.
I
won't ask for it.
And, to circle that back around is, that's exactly how it works. So, those people need to know it's okay to ask for that help, that person that's acting off. And the other people that went to lunch with him need to know it's okay to reach out and support that person, because they could be going through a tough time. If they're not, they'd be like, oh, I was tired. I got an email. But they could be like, oh, I was just tired that day, or something like that. But it's still okay to check up. You're perfectly, perfectly reasonable to support that person.
So talk to me. Why, not the person who needs help and not the person who reaches out, but why do those other 3 to 5 people, where is the stigma, episode 1,
I think
2,
somewhere, a previous episode.
Why is there a stigma with asking people if they need help?
Or asking for help.
Well, we'll go into that secondary. First, why is it a stigma to ask people if they need help? Is it because you make them feel weak? Is it because you make them feel not superior? Where does that stigma come? In a social media driven serotonin level spiking through the goddamn roof, why is that a thing?
I don't know. Honestly, I've never thought about it. Why?
Yeah,
I was going to say, there's definitely a stigma there, and I don't know,
Before, we grew up and I think that I would like to touch on this.
We were raised a little different.
Well, it's not that we were raised a little different. We were in the middle of the technological boom.
Right.
I remember half my life before technology, and I remember the other half of my life with technology.
Right.
I remember being 13, 14 years old without a cell phone.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also remember 16 years old with Twitter. So, my God, my brain is fried.
Right.
We're not millennials, but we're not generation this or this or this. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So, to me, before social media and having a cell phone, I never had a cell phone forever. I used to call people all the time. I remember this. And if I had a bad day or something like this, I can remember going home from school as a kid and calling one of my friends and saying, hey, this happened. I called you 4-8-5-8. I called you a million times. Hey, this happened. Well, don't think too much into it. I remember literally talking on the phone.
Which people don't do anymore.
Right. But then I also remember when I had a bad day and then I posted on Twitter. And those conversations are so different because you wanted to know, because you had nothing else to do besides talk to me on the phone. You weren't checking 75 other Twitter messages.
Right.
Then to where the Twitter people who cared about me, and I've deleted my Twitter since then. That's long gone. I don't have a Twitter because of a lot of different reasons. I'll get into that later. But I remember that. I remember the conversation being so different. But the principle remains the same. Why is it such a heated thing to say, hey, listen, I fucking need help?
Right. I guess
that's not men either. That's women.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, and
women probably even more today with the social justice thing going on. I mean, with feminism.
This is true.
So this is the last thing I'll say, and then I want you to talk for a little bit. Why did it become such a horrible thing to ask for help in the world with support?
My take would be maybe people are worried about seeming weak or seeming, not as good as somebody else, and then to wrap that right back to what The Rock said. People go through it, like, there's more people going through what you're going through. So this idea of, like, oh, my problem's just me, like...
Everybody suffers from depression.
Yeah, everybody's, like, there's somebody that's been there. So whether it's, you're struggling with something personal, something business, somebody's been there. And people just need to realize that it's not just them. And
people need to realize why we have a divide in this country right now. This is getting controversial. I love this shit. I love having a fucking podcast. Man, this is cool as shit. Right. That's deep. I love you, man. That's cool as shit. That's what I'm saying. So everybody that's listening on YouTube right now, I want comments to flow in. I want to know.
That'd be a good way to end that's topic.
We'll end it, but we'll end in a second. But it became such a horrible thing to ask for help.
All right.
Somewhere along the lines, it came. Because growing up, I remember asking for help for everything. Hey, my tire's flat. I need help.
All right.
Hey, I'm hearing this sound in my car.
And everybody's so, leave me alone now, like, I got this, or like, I think I can figure this out. And people don't want that help, or they don't want to ask for it, like...
Was technology to blame for that, maybe?
I don't know.
I think so.
I guess, like, stereotypes and social media...
Well, I can fix this.
Stigmas.
I can fix this. Well, did you go to school to fix this? No, I can YouTube it.
Right.
But,
so we want to hear what you guys think. Why is it, like, why do people think it's not okay to ask for help or ask somebody if they need help?
Yeah, we're not going to wrap this episode up. We're going to leave it up actually on a question. So why do you guys not ask for help? The support's out there. Sometimes I don't ask for it. You don't ask for it. I know for shit y'all don't ask for it.
Right.
So talk to me.
Right, yeah, so, we'll definitely, we'll comment back, we'll tell you guys what we think of your questions or your answers to that. But at the end of the day, like, what we as Dominicans want you guys to know, it's okay. It's simply okay.
Two things. You're dead right. It is absolutely okay to ask for support and ask for help. And number two,
it's okay to
support yourself. Support yourself. Be strong in your foundations. And if you need help to build your foundation, ask for help.
Right. And if somebody needs help building their foundation, it's okay to help them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Giving support's the best feeling in the world.
Right. There's no more rewarding feeling than helping somebody build something great.
I would rather help somebody build something than me build my own empire, to be honest with you.
Guys, we look forward to your comments. That's Casey.
I'm Drew. No, I'm Casey. That's Christian.
We're the Dominicans, and we look forward to it.
Episode...
we don't even need to talk about this, but just for sheer editing purposes, we'll just leave that out.
Oh, that's on him. I do my shit, so he's fine. So we're good.
You guys have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Leave that in there.
You guys have a good night. You too.